Hey, what's going on, everybody? EnteR ChazmaN here, back with another rendition of our ChazmaN Live, a little streaming day that I've been trying to keep up with and stay on schedule with. But yeah, it's been a hot minute. What did we talk about on the last one? Oh gosh, I feel like there was some good stuff in there. I don't gosh, I don't even remember what we talked about. But I guess again, this is your guys' place, my place to kind of talk about the things that I guess I kind of missed out on that I find kind of interesting. And same thing, place where you can kind of throw me either in the Discord or in chat. Just let me know what you guys thought might be interesting for me to check out and to live react to. So yeah, I guess right off the bat, there is a couple of things I missed that I do immediately want to go into. Real quick, I'm going to quickly talk about, I did finally get to start The Last of Us Season 2. I know they just aired, episode 2 yesterday. I didn't get to watch that one, but I did literally 15 minutes ago. I finished episode 1. So I would like to kind of touch on episode 1 here in just a minute. A Disney Star Wars celebration just happened. That might be something I kind of want to check out some of the announcements for. I guess briefly, I would definitely like to also talk about the H3 and iDubbbz kind of a fiasco beef that's kind of brewing over there. Things are certainly juicy, so I think that gives me 3 really good things that I kind of am interested in to talk about. So once again, Last of Us, Star Wars celebration announcements, H3 iDubbbz beef. That seems like a pretty good plate right there, I guess for me. 3 things I'm super interested in. So immediately in chat, we got Veronica Rose, Skylar Twilight. Thank you so much for joining, y'all. We have P1 up 93. What's up, P1? And Odin is salty. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. Definitely means a lot to have y'all here. If you guys don't know, what did we just finish? Oh, that's right. We finished South of Midnight. That was an Xbox Game Pass game. We finished that, Saturday night? And then, oh no, was that Saturday or Sunday night? That might have been Sunday night. But yeah, we do have another, no, that was Saturday. We do immediately have another game lined up that won our recent poll. If you guys would like to know, I already set up the stream, so it's set up for tomorrow. We will be immediately jumping into, Sonic Heroes. I don't have a ton of experience with Sonic games, but it'll be very interesting to kind of dip my toes in. I'm very much a noob, a typical noob when it comes to Sonic, so it'll be very, very interesting. I think I saw someone in one of the YouTube comment sections that was super excited that game won, and they were saying that to them it's like one of the better Sonic games, so my curiosity is piqued, most definitely. Delectable Toast said, "Hi guys, what's up, Delectable? Thank you so much for joining." Odin Salty said, "Bethesda just came out of hiding." Oh, they have the Oblivion. Yeah, I guess I can't talk about that today because that announcement's tomorrow. But definitely, I believe they're probably going to announce when you can see that game. Yeah, I find it hard to believe that would be like a surprise. Boom, this game is available today type thing. I think they're going to announce it, show it off, and then they're going to say the game will be released later this year. That's just my opinion. Again, I would figure that an Oblivion remake would require a lot more fanfare and hype. Like there's almost no hype. There's no waiting for this game. Again, I find it hard to believe Xbox would just be like, here's one of our more beloved games remake, bam, ready now. Like I feel like you need to give that some time to sizzle a little bit. I don't know, that's my opinion. I actually don't and also just in my personal opinion, I don't want it to come out that soon. I'd rather kind of sit on it and I don't know, play it. Give me a couple months. Let me get past all these other games. Give me till I don't know. I'd love to wait till September for that. Put it out in September. I'll be happy then. P1 up 93 says I haven't played that game in years. Yeah, I think most people haven't played Oblivion in years. But yes. Alright, so real quick, actually, give me a sec. Let me just clean my glasses off. I should have done this before hopping on stream. I was running a little late. I guess what I can go ahead and dive into for you guys, something I did, again, that I did literally just watch. Oh gosh, I can't see now all of a sudden. How do I switch over? There we go. So something I did literally just watch before hopping on was I just watched myself The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1.
Yeah.
No, I want a good spot. But yeah, I'm not gonna really touch on this terribly long. I don't think it'd be super interesting, especially with my buddy Phoenix wanting to talk about it. So you guys can definitely expect once season 2's over, me and my buddy Phoenix, we're gonna try and rehash the the dead body of our podcast, the EnteR ChazmaN podcast. Hopefully, we can do an episode, and me and him can kind of go in a little bit on what's kind of going on here with season 2. Once again, me and him both are approaching this season from the viewpoint of people who have played the game, so we kind of have an idea of what to expect, and let's just say we're not going to be caught off guard by anything. I kind of hope we're caught off guard, because that would mean that they're going to venture away from the game, but I got a feeling it's going to play it pretty close to the vest. But yeah, like I was saying, I just literally just watched it, and what do you think, ChazmaN? What are you angry? Are you happy? I think the first episode is really good. You know, I loved the first season. First season was so good. I mean, I guess if you want to know my opinion on the games, I love the first game anyway. First game, in my opinion, is far better than the second, even though I do like the second. The second's a really good game. But, yeah, that first season kind of hit me in all of the right spots, you know? It did all of the things that I feel like it needed to do in order to kind of make a fan of the first game happy. But yeah, like this the first episode kind of does the same. It touches on a lot of the things that you might expect that would happen from the second game. I was surprised it does kind of change some things in a certain way. Gosh, I don't want to get terribly deep into spoilers, but there are things that happen in the second game that happen in the way that like I wouldn't have wanted, and I feel like this first episode kind of tries to touch on and tries to correct itself just a little bit. It definitely feels like there's some tweaking in the writing room coming from Craig Mazin, and I think Craig Mazin isn't he there? He's the main writer, I think. But yeah, you can definitely sense that there's a little bit of course correction, not a ton, but they're definitely doing a couple of things, and I definitely think that benefits certain characters, which it's kind of disappointing because, like, Odin Assault, this is, I personally never cared for The Last of Us, but one adaptation I ended up liking was the Fallout TV show. I want to see what they do for season 2 because it's set in New Vegas, I believe. No, I 100% agree with you. I mean, in my personal opinion, if you were to ask, like, did I like season 1 of Fallout more or The Last of Us season 1 more? I actually liked The Last of Us season 1 a lot more. Not a lot more. I liked it more, but they were both really good. I agree with you. I'm looking forward to that one as well. It's just episode 2 of The Last of Us is so tricky of a thing to touch on, and again, they're course correcting, and not course correcting, but they're making certain things more or less believable. And gosh, it's so hard to talk about this without spoilers. I think this episode is really good. There's some great scenes here. Like, probably one of my favorite scenes is the scenes with, I can't think of the lady's name, but the actress who played in Beetlejuice, and also she played Macaulay Culkin's mom in Home Alone, but she's in this movie and she plays a therapist character who kind of sits down and talks with Joel, and that was one of the better scenes. Again, a great aspect of this show is the Pedro Pascal casting is darn near perfect. Pedro is an amazing Joel. I feel like he falls a little bit short of the video game Joel, but he is like so good at like kind of I don't know, acting, I guess. He's so good at recreating the mannerisms of the Joel character, and you know, he perfectly kind of resembles that like stoicism. Am I saying that right? But kind of putting on that face and playing like the rough outsider, you know, who like is he almost seems like he's trying to fit in when he's in towns and talking to people versus it being the opposite. You know, you always got the sense with Joel that like because things were so rough for him, he was more comfortable out in the wild than like in civilization. I guess he couldn't help with the world being the way it is, but um, I guess I'll kind of keep it short, keep it short and to the point. Um, I got my audio going. They're gonna show some things here. I probably shouldn't show a heck of a whole lot, but yeah. Once again, episode 1 was really good. I have talked to people who have watched episode 2. Again, I've played the game, so I know what's coming. But episode 2 sounds like it's very interesting, and when things begin to happen, I'm very curious to see what the audience's reactions. I'm very curious to see how the showrunners can, carry the show after certain events, and it'll be fascinating. Odin Salty says, I keep forgetting it's my birthday today. I hope you all are having a great Monday. Hey, happy birthday, Odin. That's super awesome. It's super nice of you to spend your birthday here with little old me just kind of chilling and chit-chatting. Maybe we'll try and keep this short for you so you can go celebrate with your friends and family. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Veronica wishing happy birthday. I agree. Alright, I think I've been cleaning these glasses long enough. That's fine. I think I got distracted. But yeah, I think where the show early on, I'm already anticipating some sort of weakness, I guess you would say, is in a couple characters in particular. I will say I'm not terribly in love with the Ellie casting to this point. I don't hate the character. I loved her in season 1, but I definitely think you can see in season 2 it's 5 years later. There's supposed to be a drastic personality change coming off of the first game, and I don't know, it's just hard to believe because I think her name's Bella Ramsey. It's not her fault, but her stature is like just beyond like the most unintimidating character. And in the second game, yeah, she's not a big massive. She's not Abby sized in the second game, but like she is like a darn near full grown lady, and she's scary in the second game. And in this one, I just don't see anyone fearing for their life, having to deal with her. There's even like early on in this episode, there's a fight scene between her and like a gargantuan man, which it ends up being a fake fight. But like she like kind of holds her own to an extent, and it's just like, come on, like that dude's like 6'4", 6'5", and she's shorter than me, and I'm not that tall. I'm only like 5'5", but she's got to be like 5'1", 5'2" in this show. I think she was great for season 1. I'm kind of already wishing though that in season 2, I do think they should have recasted. I don't know if they had prior contractual stuff or if just because she's Bella Ramsey from Game of Thrones, they felt as if they had to have her back. Again, her stature is not her fault. There's no way for her to have known she wasn't gonna grow in height at all. But I honestly kind of like the actor that they got to play Abby in this. I'm almost like surprised they didn't choose her to be the older Ellie and replace Bella Ramsey. Like I don't know. Like again, the rest of the casting is fascinating. The character, the lady they got to play Abby, they totally changed from the game. Like Abby was like this big monstrous hulking figure character, and in this one, she's like this tiny little petite lady, and it's like okay, I guess they're mixing it up in certain areas, but keeping it the same in others. I don't know. It's all very interesting. How long have I been going for? All right. Again, I didn't want to go terribly deep. I at least wanted to give my initial thoughts on episode 1. It was really good. They're definitely leading up to some other things that are a big deal, and I'm very fascinated to see again, how people handle it, how handle things, and it'll be fascinating. Based on the first episode, I'm still super excited to continue watching. And again, you can expect me and my buddy Phoenix post this season. We're gonna dive deep. I'm gonna try and get him to stay in one place, and we'll try and talk about it for an hour or two. Our talks always seem to go for 2 hours, but we'll try. We'll try and keep it fun. Try to keep it light. Trying to see if there's any other scenes. There was a scene that was I did really enjoy that. They kind of play up. Hey, Amy Lee's in chat. What's up, Amy Lee? They kind of play up a new type of what are they called? Clickers, whatever they have in their universe. And it is a type of infected that was in the game, but you don't see it till much later. But early on, they show like a clicker that that has like survival instincts and is like super fast, and it like doesn't just rush Ellie out in the open. It like sees her, and Ellie's like, "Come on, you piece of crap," and it like hides and like goes and runs away, and then like ambushes her, and which is totally like fits in with the second game. That is an actual creature that you run into, so it is multiple times. So yeah, they're bringing, it's the same. It's really good. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the Last of Us 2 video game stuff to start to creep in, because there are themes that like I understand. Me and my buddy Phoenix have talked about them at length, but there are themes that I respect the creators for sticking to their guns and continuing on with the themes of the series, but then I also hate some of the themes that were going on in season or video game number 2. So I don't know. It's fascinating, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I know episode 2 is already out. Maybe I'll try and do like a very quick reaction. Like maybe when's a good time? When's a good time I can do a reaction? Maybe Thursday night, because I don't think I'm going to be streaming a video game Thursday night, because there is a NFL draft this Thursday night, which I think I'm going to try and take that night off from you guys and watch that. Maybe I'll do a draft stream. I think I did one last year. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts. Once again, episode 1 was amazing. I definitely recommend you guys watch it. I actually think it might be more fun if you haven't played the game. I definitely think if you haven't played the games, this is going to be a wild ride. Like, there's going to be ups and downs, and you're going to see things. If you're a noob to The Last of Us, it's probably more fun than gamers, But yeah, that's all I got to say. Once again, tune in, post this season, and me and my buddy Phoenix will kind of chit chat about it, and we'll have some fun. Again, I didn't want to play it on screen because this is copyright claim city right here. Which I guess I'm gonna go back into once we start getting into the Star Wars stuff. But yeah, once again, go watch The Last of Us. Really good show. I had fun with the first episode. Those are my thoughts, and that's just how it is. Going to draw more of this weekend. How are you? Says Veronica Rose. Okay. Amy Lee says, Rose, I'm going to play Destiny 2 this weekend. Oh, interesting. My nemesis, Destiny 2. The less popular younger brother to Destiny 1. Destiny 1 is the favorite child. All right, so how am I going to go about this? I don't want to watch the full Disney event thing. So let's see. Let's go all Star Wars Celebration announcements, and maybe we'll just look it up. Star Wars Celebration was in Japan this year? What the heck? Alright, let's see. What do we got here? Star Wars Celebration. So let's see. I am so tuned out to modern Star Wars. This is totally fascinating for me to... I wouldn't even know. Honestly don't even know what to think about some of these. So let's see. Star Wars Celebrations Ahsoka had some reveals. First look at Roy McCann as Baylan Skoll. For those unfamiliar, blah blah blah. Hayden Christensen will returning as Anakin Skywalker. Ah, okay, okay. Do we have trailers for anything? I want to watch some trailers. Mark Hamill returning as Luke Skywalker for The Mandalorian. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Gosh, I'm so far behind on Star Wars stuff. Have you played it before, says Amy Lee? Nah, more of a Nintendo console, yeah. I don't think... I haven't touched much on Destiny, so I doubt my community has many Destiny fans out here. Maybe back in the day when I was, like, hardcore into it. This could have been a Destiny show. Alright, let's watch this video. Let's see what's going on here. If you're good, hey, what's up, Johan? Johan Pena's in chat. What's up, everybody? I'm finally here. Hope everyone is doing well. What's going on, everybody? Not much. If you, since you're kind of newer here, try to once a week try to do just a ChazmaN live where I kind of just watch and I don't know, take in news, watch videos of major events that I find interesting. I guess real quick, I kind of want to hear more about this Ryan Gosling thing. If you guys could, let me know how audio sounds.
Sean Levy.
I had heard at one point that my movie was going to star Ryan Gosling. And believe me, that would be dream come true for me. So today, I just wanted to tell you here in this room that that rumor is 100% true.
The goss.
I guess you also want us to say something. Should we say one of the 3 things we are allowed to say?
Oh, okay. The title.
Well, we can say the title. You want to take that one?
I've got Star Wars Starfighter on the PS2.
Later.
Starfighter is not.
That's awesome. Glad to be here, says Johan. Yeah, we literally just talked about. I wanted to touch on briefly about The Last of Us Episode 1, Last of Us Season 2. That's all I've got caught up. I haven't seen the second episode, which was literally last night. So I talked about that. I'll talk about Episode 2 later on. Once again, I will definitely. I think me and my buddy Phoenix are going to do a podcast later, whenever Season 2 wraps up. And then next thing I wanted to touch on was I missed all of the Star Wars Celebration stuff, which I kind of wanted to see.
With new characters taking place in a new time period, about a half dozen years after Episode 9 and the Battle of Exegol. It feels so cliche to say that this really formed my idea of what movies are. And it's not just that these movies gave me movie memories, they gave me life memories. They literally taught me a cinematic language.
Are you going to talk about your movie that you're making? He's just talking about how much he likes Star Wars.
Constantly.
Like, yeah, I like Star Wars. That's why I'm watching
this.
this.
So it's sort of a little bit surreal to now get to do it ourselves.
Very good.
My mother actually sent a picture of my Star Wars sheets. I had them at 5. You know, you're probably dreaming about Star Wars before you ever saw it. It's always been there, and it probably framed, our idea of what even a movie was.
This guy, who...
All right, so I get it. They're just oozing about Star Wars. I don't know. I kind of was expecting there to be an official announcement. Maybe not then. But that's cool. Again, I have Star Wars Starfighter for the PS2. I'm wondering, are they hoping to keep that tied to the video game, or is this a whole another thing? That'd be pretty fascinating to see what they do there. Plus, who doesn't like the goss? Who doesn't love the goss? Goss is cool. All right, so I guess they didn't even freaking have a trailer. Let's take a look. What else got announced? Johan Pena said, I just finished Daredevil Born Again Season 1. Oh, okay. Gosh, I'm so far behind on my Disney. I'm behind on all the Marvel. I'm behind on all the Star Wars. I just have not had time more recently. Like, honestly, fitting in The Last of Us has kind of felt like a, oh, when am I going to do that type thing? Let's see. Mandalorian and Grogu? I honestly don't even know. Everything announced. Let's see. Actually, I wonder if I can bring this up. Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord announced at Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration saw the announcement of Darth Maul Shadow Lord, a new animated series heading to Disney Plus. Okay, an animated series about Darth Maul. Is he going to be a good guy or a bad guy if he's the main character? I mean, I guess he kind of has to be a bad guy, right? That would be interesting if they found a way to make him the good guy. Let's see. I don't think they've even started filming it, says Johan. Oh yeah, you're probably right. The movie doesn't even exist yet. I want to watch the new Fantastic Four and Super... Oh, there were new trailers! I could watch those. I didn't even think about that. There was a new Fantastic Four trailer that just dropped. Okay, I'll check those out. My gosh, there really wasn't that... I'm sorry, guys. I thought there was a lot more announced with Star Wars Celebration. There was only a couple of announcements. They had the Darth Maul... They talked about more Andor, which I haven't seen yet. And then there's the Mandalorian and Grogu. And then there's Starfighter, and that looks like it. An official teaser trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu. Oh, that is just the logo. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry about this, guys. Sheesh. They did not... They ain't cooking all that much this year, are they, with Star Wars Celebration? Oh yeah, I did read that. But yeah, let me switch over, and I guess that's all I got to say. I mean, once again, I'm not like the biggest... I've definitely detached myself from being part of like fandoms. Like I'm not necessarily somebody nowadays who would like say that oh, I'm not really a fan of Star Wars. I'm a fan of like a couple of movies that were made in the late 70s and early 80s. That's what I like to say about Star Wars. Like, I'm a big fan of the original trilogy. 1.5 of the prequels. I was not a big fan of the sequel trilogy. My love for Star Wars is kind of mixed. I'm all over the place. There's certain things I like, some things I don't. But my main things, I love the one trilogy made back in the day, and that's kind of where my like Star Wars fandom kind of goes. Let's see. Totally understand you haven't caught up on things. I'm sure you got a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on myself. That's why I haven't streamed in a while, says Johan. Okay. Let's see. Onus Salty says, I read a book called Star Wars Maul Lockdown. It's a non-canon book about Darth Maul being sent to a high-security prison to get some info. I liked it, and I wish they did a film or show on it. So he's like cut in half, right? So I think, what was the movie? Oh, it was the end of the Solo movie. Didn't they show him like as a machine or something, like a robot, where somebody like gave him another half of his body or something? Is that like the story? Is that he's like disfigured, you know, having to still be evil? Onus Salty says the prison in the book is able to shift into fighting rooms where the prison hosts matches between different prisoners. Oh, that does sound interesting. But yeah, okay, once again, let me get off of Celebration. That did not seem like a heck of a whole lot. I honestly, I was tempted to do like a full reaction video to the whole event, but thank goodness I didn't. Alright, so what do we watch? Fantastic Four. Let's watch that one first. I do want to see what this one... Oh, it's our boy... It's the second time I'm talking Pedro Pascal. Who doesn't love themselves a good Pedro Pascal? Alright. Off with the music.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head up into space and come back forever changed.
This car?
Is that Ben?
Our city, our planet, owe a debt to these intrepid souls. And while we can never repay them, we can certainly celebrate them.
Thank you, Fantastic Four.
What?
Thank you, Fantastic Four!
Please,
Freaking Best Buy, dude. They just canceled my laptop I just bought. I was looking forward to getting that laptop. How do you cancel a laptop? Oh, come on. That stinks. I got like a really good deal on that too. I'm sorry. I stopped that to complain. I saw the trailer for Fantastic Four. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it.
Welcome, the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
That's not like my favorite group of superheroes. Not that I think they're bad. I just don't know much about
How's
them.
that sauce looking? Okay.
I've been needing a laptop for
That's
like a couple
fantastic.
years now, and I found one
late.
for a great
What do you
deal.
mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? You're
Then
late
they
for dinner.
cancel my
Yes,
order.
we are.
You late?
I just said that.
Now I gotta
Are you pregnant?
buy another laptop.
You're gonna be the best mom in the world. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. We are gonna be the best uncles ever.
We can do this. Nothing's going to change.
Everything's gonna change. Johan, Best Buy, how dare you? Oh, it's all good.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Silver Surfer. It's a girl?
Yes, we are.
It's a lady Silver Surfer? What? Wow, okay. Is that in the comics? Is there a lady Silver Surfer? And is that Galactus behind her?
It's my fault. I stretched the bounds of space. And they hurt.
Are we safe?
I don't know.
I get it. Silver Surf. Her. Huh? On brand. Silver Surf her. I'm sorry. I think so, but I'm not 100% sure, says Johan.
There's not enough time.
I'm not giving up. We will face it
Galactus.
together. We will fight it together. As a family.
No, don't step on
Has to be us.
the child.
We will protect you.
Their post credit. Interesting. Shalal Ball was Silver Surfer's girl in the comics. She was the herald for Galactus at some point in the comics. I'm thinking this is an alternate universe where she's... okay. The whole alternate universe thingamajig. That makes sense. So, I'm interested. I actually, like... I'll be honest, versus some of the previous Fantastic Four movies, I actually am kind of digging the timeline and the art style kind of going on here. I tell you, like, what doesn't typically interest me is, like, the other things happening in Fantastic Four stories. Like, I'll be honest, the Fantastic Four themselves don't super intrigue me. Obviously Galactus and Silver Surfer are really cool, but, like, I guess Doctor Doom's not bad, but, like, the Fantastic Four themselves, they're not the big draw for me. But I do really like one. You got Pedro Pascal, so my Hispanic connection is growing there. You got me going there, and then also, like, I don't know, I kind of just like the art style and what they're going for with the with everything. I don't know, I like the art style, the real retro. They kind of have the what was the Black Widow TV show, WandaVision. It kind of looks like it's got a bit of WandaVision art style kind of going there, which I don't know, I feel like that kind of sells me a little bit more than if they would have just went with the typical Fantastic Four thing. John Pena says, I haven't seen the latest Captain America. Oh, I'm in that same boat. I haven't seen... I think Winter Soldier was the last... Is that the last Captain America movie in general? Because I feel like... Shoot, I'm so behind on the Marvel stuff. What was the last Marvel movie I watched? It was, what was, Quantumania, I think, right? Ant-Man? I think that's just the last one in general that I've seen. Onus Aldis is the newer Captain America movie. From what I heard, seemed like a movie that was closing loose ends with the one Incredible Hulk movie that happened. Oh yes, the one with Edward Norton. Yeah. Don Pena says, now watching it another time, I do like the time period they are in. Yeah, no, I like what they're going with the art style. I actually think the art style and like the non-superhero stuff kind of intrigues me more with the movie than, you know, what's going on with the superhero stuff. So good on you. I think that's definitely a good direction to go in there. I do think there was something new with Superman. I am Superman. There was some sort of new trailer. Let me see what we got here. Sneak peek 2 weeks ago. Well, not really. Doesn't really seem like... Oh, there's a new 28 Days Later trailer. Alright, we're watching that instead. That's one of my most anticipated movies of this upcoming year. Enough with the superhero talk. Let's get into the zombie mode. Johan Pena says, gotta go for now. It's been a pleasure being in the chat. Glad to be here. I'll be here from now on, says Johan. No, you're all good. Thank you so much for stopping by. This was where we're more than happy to have you. I like what the new Superman movie is doing. The brighter colors and the more classic look. Yes, it's definitely got a very, well, you know, it's got a very James Gunn feel and look, which I like. I really enjoyed James Gunn. He versus a, well, I've talked to death with Phoenix, but like versus a Zack Snyder, James Gunn does a very good job of taking lesser known characters, and he does a really good job of just pulling on the heartstrings of, you know, characters you might not expect. Like, you know, who would have thought that I would have been crying about Rocket Raccoon and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or James Gunn's brother in the second movie crying about losing Yondu. You know what I mean? Like, he does a really good job of getting you to care and feel bad for, you know, again, characters that you're just like, who are you? Okay, now I know. Now I feel bad for you. You know what I mean? I think Zack Snyder does the opposite. He does a really good job of making you hate lesser known characters that you're like, oh, not just the lesser knowns, even some of the well known ones. Let's see. Glad you're doing well. Hey, nice to have you around. Johan says, Skylar. SMH Park says, yo, I was just wondering if you could react to my music by chance. Maybe at a later time. I don't know about that right now, but thank you so much for joining, Perk. I will definitely keep you in mind. But yeah, this is one of my most anticipated movies from this year. If you don't know, 28 Days Later, the first one, is one of my favorite horror zombie movies. It's like an amazing, amazing movie.
Dead. Infected and non-infected alike.
That's why our home is so precious.
28 Weeks Later, not so much. That one was... It was pretty good. It was fine. It was a good movie.
He's ready, Jenny.
7, 6, 11, 5.
I didn't even know of Yondu before the Guardians of the movies, but he automatically become one of my favorite characters in the MCU, says Odin. Again, yes. You know, that's one of James Gunn's really big strengths in terms of movie making, is just he does a really good job of taking characters, making you like them, and then making you cry about them. I don't know. I feel like he does a fantastic job of that. Again, you know, as much as I like Zack Snyder and other doses in terms of the Marvel or the DC stuff, when I say Marvel, sort of his chance at a DCEU, it was not. I feel like that was one of the weaker points, is he couldn't get you to like. As much as I want to, you know, you want to love Henry Cavill, because you know he's the type of actor in person that you're like, you want to root for him, but like the way he writes, you know, for Henry Cavill and like Batman versus Superman, you're just like, he just, I don't know why. In my opinion, I don't find myself rooting for any of his characters. I don't know.
Look at what's in front of you.
Zombos. Alex Garland. Ah!
There are many kinds of death.
The heck was that? Voldemort just now? Is that Lord Voldemort? That actor? It looks just like him. It is, yeah, it's him. You got Lord Voldemort in my 28 Years Later movie.
Many kinds of death.
If you just chopped off that nose. Chopped off that nose, that'd be Voldemort.
Some are better than others.
The heck was that? Is that a huge zombo? Dude, it's a massive zombo. It's a muscle builder zombo. Oh, that's not a zombie. That's one of the main characters. That's the main character. Interesting. Got baby. It's our guy from the first movie. It's oh gosh, why can't I think of his name? What's the actor's name? Oh no, I almost always know this guy's name from the first movie. Why can't I think of his name from Peaky Blinders? Peaky Blinders. What's his name? I'll find it. I'll find you. I will find you. Cillian Murphy. Yes, Cillian Murphy from the first movie. Gosh, I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. He's a zombo.
This is a glorious day. The day of judgment. My children!
There's no discharge in the war.
Yes, I can't wait. One of my most anticipated movies, probably my most anticipated movie of the year. I can't think of anything else I think I'm like more excited for. Yeah, thanks for sticking with me. I'm probably the only person that cares about the 28 days, weeks, and years later series. All right, so I don't know, in chat, you guys got anything else? What if anything do you guys want? Anything you guys want me to talk about? Feels like a small trivia of trying to remember who the actor or director when it comes to streams like this. Yeah, I normally know Cillian Murphy's name. For some reason, I was just drawing a blank. I don't know. My brain was dying. So, do we want to immediately get into the drama, to the juicy bits? What is the best way to learn? I guess the best thing to do would be for me to explain my relationship with the iDubbbz. Let's see. Because I know he took down his old school content cops. How can I watch the old content cops? I'm sure someone's got them saved. Because that's how I want to see. Content cop. Which one? Let's look at the Keemstar one. Where can I watch? Where can I watch those? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Content cop archive. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna start diving into the juice, into the super mega drama that is the H3 and iDubbbz beef that's kind of going on right now. So, real quick, I want to explain the origins of how I know about iDubbbz. So, back in the day when I was he took down the old content cops, says Veronica. Yes, he delisted and took down every single of his content cop from his YouTube channel. So now the only way to find them is I think this channel right here I've heard about, Content Cop Archive. It's another channel where I guess all they do is they just have his old videos that are there. Now granted, he didn't take down every video off his channel, only the Content Cops, which that makes it all the more baffling why he's so embarrassed and ashamed of the old Content Cops, yet he was willing to do another one, a new one on his friend, a longtime friend. I don't know. I don't want to try and understand the guy, but yeah. So my relationship and the history that I have with iDubbbz and where I became a fan. Back in the day, I think I've mentioned it before, but there was a friends group. I was I was a fan of watching their content. You had Max Mofo, iDubbbz, Filthy Frank, which Filthy Frank was actually my intro into all of this world. Filthy Frank was the first one I started watching, and then he started showing those characters, and then he also had H3 and his wife Ela. So like yeah, that's how I became Max Mofo's brother was on there. That's how I became accustomed and kind of learned of all these figures. Go figure, the one I knew the least about, H3, is the one in the long run that they're the only ones that still make content that I watch. I don't know what Max Mofo does anymore. Joji Filthy Frank is gone at this point. Who knows what he's doing. iDubbbz is clearly I don't know, but yeah, go figure. He's the last one I found out of all of them, and I don't know, I just think it's funny. He's the one I've stuck with. But yeah, I guess just kind of again, I had through Filthy Frank started watching all of these fellas, and I ended up liking their content. Is it the most mature and a family-friendly content out there? Absolutely not. This was like the early days of YouTube, where like you could get away with content like that. You could get away with some of the things they were saying. They were saying vulgar, super raunchy stuff, racist things sometimes for jokes. It was not family-friendly content. It was not PR safe, but I didn't know any better, you know. So at the time, I thought I loved all the content. I loved iDubbbz, you know, all of his Content Cops. He had the unpackaging videos. He had like eating things that were like weird. I loved all that. I loved Filthy Frank's, you know, his shenanigans. I watched all the H3 videos and everything. I was deep into that content, that world. Filthy Frank was my favorite. I didn't really watch the others. The only time I remember technically watching them was when they did videos with Frank, like Hair Cake or Human Cakes as Odin. I remember Hair Cake and Human Cake. Those were... You can't even like explain the content now. It was so interesting and crazy back then. Veronica Rose says, I only watched the Content Cop. Yeah. But yeah, so if so facto, over time, H3 would go on to make his podcast, or Ethan Klein and his wife Ela would go on to make their podcast, the H3. Joji would go on to, or Filthy Frank would go on to be Joji, the musical artist. Not sure where he's been. iDubbbz would I hate throwing around the word fall off, but he would kind of move out of the eye of the internet a little bit. He kind of started slacking a bit on content. He would eventually go on to make the Creator Clash. If you haven't heard of it, it's like this celebrity YouTuber content creator boxing event that they held 2 years in a row, and then I think they had to take a break because of things, and now I think they're deciding to try and bring it back, which makes it all the more confusing why iDubbbz is doing all this when he's supposed to be advertising that event. He's also technically, Ethan, who he's beefing with, has one of his employees is in the boxing event with iDubbbz, which is like, dude, are you trying to burn the bridge with one of your content creators' fan bases that's a part of your event? It's baffling what he's kind of going through. Although it eventually affected Frank's health, says Oda. No. I don't think any rational Filthy Frank fan would be mad at Frank for Joji for giving up the Frank character. I think he had seizures, or I think he got a lot of seizures due to like stress and stuff. and he just said that the character Filthy Frank was super stressful on him, and you know, he gave it up and went with something. I never got mad. I was never mad at him. It was that was a sad video too. If you ever got to watch his video acknowledging that he's giving up the character and channel. Go figure. As much as I like dislike Filthy Frank's venture into Joji, I don't really listen to any of that. He had a pretty... Oh gosh, I'm so disinterested talking about iDubbbz, talking about Filthy Frank. Go figure, Filthy Frank would have a very pleasant send-off. You know, he stayed away from the limelight. He hasn't been really a part of any controversies. He's kind of just made his music and has stayed quiet, and like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of his fans, like me, are still fans of Filthy Frank. Like, occasionally I'll go back and, you know, look back fondly on the glory days of seeing Papa Franku running around as a pink guy, and or what is he? I can't think of some of the terms he would say. What is it? I can't remember. I used to know all the terms. I'm out of the deep end on there. But back to modern times. So yeah, he's been chill for a long time. I heard he gets ticked off at people dressing up as pink guy. Yes, that is probably the one downfall of Frank, is that or he hates being called Frank now, but Joji, is that he's very sensitive about the character now, which is kind of like, it's like, okay buddy, you know what I mean, that type of thing. It's like at least I will say one thing I appreciate is, even though Joji, very similar to iDubbbz, doesn't look back fondly on his old content, on the old days that they made their names, I'm at least happy that Joji never removed any content. He still has the channels up. He still has all of that stuff. You know, it's all there to watch. He's left it up. You could argue maybe that's a money thing. Maybe he leads it up so he can, you don't want to lose money off of those videos. But I appreciate that they're still there. Something that I don't appreciate iDubbbz did with pulling all of his content up. Great, it's his content. It's not my content. You know, he's allowed to do what he wants, but I don't know. His whole perspective on things to me is it's just very, very odd. I don't know. But again, yeah, that's kind of the basis. I was a big fan of him. Even after, his career dipped a little bit, I still watched some of the packaging opening videos. He did like this series where he had a P.O. box. Fans would send him random things and he would open them and mess with them and have fun. And I don't know. There definitely was a point. I've seen certain theories as to when his personality changed, or when things kind of started to send him downhill a little bit. I've seen a lot of hate and dislike towards his wife, Anissa. I don't think it's fair to put blame on her. I mean, she probably plays a part, sure, but iDubbbz is a grown adult. He plays the largest part in burning the bridges and making friends with who he's friends with. He's an adult. I don't like passing blame onto her, but I also saw H3 was saying that I'm not going in on Sam Hyde, but there was a whole beef between iDubbbz and Sam Hyde, and H3 was making the argument that he's been the same since that beef, and I don't know. Again, I don't know about that, but it's probably a collection of things. I actually think iDubbbz might be the first case of... we'll watch a video of somebody talking about him, but he's probably the first case I've seen of somebody who let... they almost have too much self-reflection, and I don't know if maybe he clearly has been to therapy and has therapists and stuff, and again, in my opinion, I'm not diagnosing, but there's just too much self-reflection, there's too much self-hate and self-regret on things, that it's like, I don't think anyone has a problem with you making a form of content and looking back and being like, yeah, I was immature, that's not how I should have been. There's nothing wrong with self-reflection and even having regret on certain things, but but when you have, and you'll see, but like he like is so sensitive about it that he just like has random bouts of like crying about it, and it's weird. It's almost as if the self-pity and the self-reflection is almost like what you don't want is you don't want to let that become your personality, which is the problem. Is like it almost seems as though he's spent so much time involved in the regret and the pity, and that it's just become his personality, you know. Like he almost like it almost seems as though he's like out. You'll see, but there's another video he did with a guy named Psychology in Seattle, and like it almost seems as though he's like out and just like actively desiring to be congratulated or to be you know, I can't think of the word, to be positively told that he's just like, oh, you've done such a good job, you're changed than where you were, and you know, he's grown empathy. And it's like, I think all of that's great, obviously, like you want to be able to be empathetic and sympathetic towards things, but like, I don't know, man, he's kind of gone over top with it, and I don't know. That's all I'll say. Well, we'll watch a video on somebody that'll be able to delve better into it than I, but yeah, he's just in an odd place financially and career wise. Like, you know, he's got this podcast with his wife that doesn't do particularly well. You also get the sense that like maybe there's some animosity towards Ethan and Hila because they have like one of the most successful podcasts on YouTube. Is there like an envy there, you know? Because that's like a main point, is that he was talking about how hard it is to be a podcaster, and then he was mad at Ethan because Ethan bought a button that like is able to eliminate 20 seconds of, you know, he's like mad at, like, I don't know, iDubbbz is just, you know, I want to say he you know, it's one of those things where I want to say he should, like, if he wasn't already seeking therapy, I would say he needs to seek therapy, but like I almost wonder if he's getting too much therapy. Again, I hate being one to diagnose or to tell people what to do about themselves. I just find it fascinating to like talk about these things, and it's interesting. It's all super interesting. Again, like, it's good to change. That is like a great thing to do. The problem is you can't like the problem is he's let the idea of change become his personality, and it's just like Veronica Rose says he sounds bitter. In certain ways he does. Again, let me pick out a video. Now that you know my experience with iDubbbz, again, I know him from that group. He made good content. I felt like for a time, you know, kind of lost touch on like what is good content. He even says it himself in interviews that like he's like so negative, and so like he doesn't even have like an understanding of like what he feels is good content anymore, which is like, that seems like a very bad thing to have if you're a content creator. Veronica says, from what I hear, he's letting his past regrets hold him back when nobody else minds or cares about what he did in the past. True. Very much true. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did have some content that was probably, you know, not cool. I mean, I know when he did the whole N-word thing, he had this video where he went up to Tanamongu. I don't know if you guys know who Tanamongu is, but he went up to an event and said the N-word, and that ended up being a whole big thing. Like, stuff like that, obviously, like, I agree, yeah, that's not cool. Again, I don't have a problem. I don't think anyone has a problem with him having regrets and stuff. The problem is that he fixates on that stuff. He's so fixated on it, and that has become his in my opinion, that has become his personality, is that he is the guy that is empathetic. Like, that's his person now, is just that he regrets, he's empathetic, he's a changed man. And it's like, it's just so uninteresting, though. And I think that's one of his problems, is that while the old iDubbbz was a very flawed, very unprofessional, kind of could be a jerk at times, said the total wrong things. Whether iDubbbz or Ian, I don't even want to call, I'll stop calling him iDubbbz. Whether Ian likes it or not, that is an engaging and very charismatic and interesting person. And I think that's where he's between a rock and a hard place, is like, you know, he's kind of realizing, are you a better person? Yeah. Oh, well, arguably, I would say you are. I don't know. I wouldn't say a better, but you'll see, because some of the stuff, because I would have said before the stuff with each three, I would have said, yeah, oh yeah, iDubbbz is a much better person than he was before, but now it's like, oh goodness. I don't know. You would say he's in a better spot, but then when you see interviews with him where he's like bawling tears and crying over little things, you would almost think he's like mentally unstable a little bit. It almost reminds me of like a Jordan Peterson moment where he just like, you know, you accidentally step on a shoe when he could start crying, you know. But I don't know what I was going on about. Veronica Rose says, was it bad? Sure, but as long as you acknowledge that it was bad, own up to your mistake and move on. Exactly. But that's why I said, like, that's why he removed his content cops, is because he was like so... I don't know if it's his wife who got him to be that sympathetic or that thoughtful when it comes to like his old self, or if it was therapy. I could be a combination of both, but all right, so that's my experience. Once again, I haven't consumed iDubbbz, and again, I'll say it again, it's crazy that he did this video attacking Ethan and H3 when one of Ethan and H3's employees is fighting in his event that he's about to have in like a month or two. So you could anger the fan base of one of the... You're trying to get people to watch your event, and you're going to anger the fan base of one of them. Lena, the employee for H3, her husband, AB, was in previous Creator Clash events. So, like, also, you have multiple people, and then it's like... and he's also getting involved in like political stuff with H3 and stuff, and that's the whole genesis of everything, is a lot of it's political and you know, people oriented. But it's like, it's just like he's running the gambit of like bad. And then also with his new content cop, he didn't even market his Creator Clash event. Apparently there's no marketing in it at all. So you're not marketing your event. You're going after, you're making life hard on some of the people involved in your event, the fighters, and then also you're ticking off the fan base of some of your fighters, which that's like, your whole event is based on, is supposed to be for charity. It's like, come on, dude. Like, I don't know. It's all kind of insane to me. All right, so give me a second. This time I'm for reals. Let's try and find a video of someone who better than I can explain everything. Other than that, everything's great. We're great with iDubbbz. Alright, let's see. H3 and iDubbbz. Let's see if we can find someone I like, who I know, who can explain everything that's happening. Because I'm not going to watch the whole 5-hour H3 podcast. I've already watched it. Gokanaru did a video on it? Wow. I don't even want to know what Gokanaru's opinion would have been on that. I don't know if he would take iDubbbz's side or not. Let's see. Destiny made a video on it. Boblax made a video on it. No, Boblax is too tricky of a personality. I don't want to click on his... Even though I like Boblax, he's very... There's so many characters here that I like, but I just I don't know if they're trustworthy on here and talk about it. I guess I should just choose one, huh? Let's see, who do we got? Am I brave enough to click on the Boblax video? There's really not that many big videos talking about it, huh? Alright, let's see. We got Gokunaru. I'm curious what Gokunaru's opinion would be on it. Alright, let's try Bo Black's. I love Bo Black's is such a crazy figure. I'm curious to know what he had to say. This could be very bad to click on. Where's the first one, Bo Black's? Oh, I think I passed it. Oh, here it is. Alright, let's check out Bo Black's video. I'm curious. This could be a very, very bad idea to have clicked on, but oh well. I just want to know what his opinion is. Their opinion on it. I think, just to be safe, their opinion on it.
H3, aka Ethan Klein. We first caught wind of this happening when he tweeted out this video teaser with the caption, "Chonchent Chop returns."
What we do here is go back.
Yeah.
Pimpmaster Broder responds to this by saying, "This about to be like a Netflix remake adaptation where it's only."
Let's see. Odin the Salty says, "Alright, I'm gonna head out for today. Hope everyone here has a good day. Thank you so much for joining, Odin. It was nice having you. We look forward to possibly having you tomorrow for the Sonic Heroes stream. We'll start that tomorrow, same time. Have a good one."
Content cop in name only. Hassan Kadar says, "Can y'all imagine the anxiety a certain someone must be feeling right now? Absolutely cannot wait to see this masterpiece." Willie Macshow says, "Comment cop predictions. 50% chance of it being on Sam Hyde, 20% on himself, 20% Elon Musk, 10% conservative pundits." Frank Castle then responds he's never gonna mention Sam again. Yeet posts the teaser saying that some people are speculating it will be on Ethan Klein, and Wavy Websurf quote tweets it and says, "Why would it be on Ethan?"
That is crazy that there are people that called it being on H3. I would have never expected as much, you know, I mean, you can kind of see it starting to brew a little bit, some of the animosity between the two. I would have still never guessed that. Forgot to say, but the audio is good. Oh, thank you, Skylar. I would have never guessed that Ian's dislike for H3 had grown this much. And I don't know if you saw the video, but actually, you know what? That's a great. Let me pull that up before we do continue with this. We should watch H3's live reaction to when the video dropped. I feel like that's a very fun place to kind of maybe check out real quick. Let's see, when did it happen? I think it's this one. All right, forgot to say. Okay, so this will be a fascinating place to start. Dan lost a bet basically. That's why he's wearing the bow and the fake hair.
Some breaking news. Your old friend iDubbbz just released a video.
Oh, yeah, my
it's
goodness.
about you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, that is the.
This was so crazy.
Well,
it actually can't.
I was watching this live, you guys. I think this is the day when I was in the Discord and I was like freaking out. I'm like posting all of this stuff because I was watching it live and I'm like you guys, oh, iDubbbz, he dropped a video on Ethan.
Holy fuck, dude!
It sure is.
It's crazy.
Oh my god. Holy fuck!
And from a quick scrub through, I think, well, it's gonna be a little spicy.
Let's watch it. I mean, so like the thing is like this guy went from saying he didn't want to get involved to supporting people calling CPS like associating with people calling CPS my family.
So again, Ethan just kind of announced or said why all of this stuff is kind of happening, but essentially a lot of this is the dislike. Most of it, almost all of it, is political. Ever since, what was it, October 7th, October 6th, one of those, with the Palestine attacking Israel event. I don't know, it kind of like ruffled feathers with a lot of people. So there's been like it's been an uptick in anti-Semitism. You've got both sides, people arguing. I will say the one thing I've probably said before, but like I, for the most part, like Ethan's view on it. It obviously is like, it's terrible on both sides. I think both sides should be condemned and in ways, you know what I mean? Obviously no one is, or I say no one, obviously, like, yeah, free Palestine. I think most people like view it as a bad situation over there. I 100% view, I hate to be such a middleman, playing fence rider, but like I'm never someone that thinks that like a government or a leadership should be representative of its people 100% all the time, you know what I mean? Uh like I don't think what Hamas did, on January 7th, like, or January, on October 7th, represents the Gazan people as a whole. Like, that obviously was perpetrated by Hamas. Like, as in my opinion, that is the leadership and government of the Palestinians. But does that mean that they should represent them? I don't think so. I don't think that is fair to normal people who are struggling, who are like being, held down in that region. And then the same goes the other way. Post that event, you had the Israeli government performing a form of genocide and going out and attacking, innocent, well, largely innocent people, you know what I mean? So it's like, it goes both ways. I don't think there's, going after Jewish people is fair when it's like, dude, it's like their government is the one that is doing all of these terrible things in Gaza and to the Palestinians. And it's like, I don't know. And that's that's largely the thing, is that like, there's an unrealistic expectation of what Israel should like atone for. Like there are people on the left, which I'm largely, I would like to think a lefty, but like there's people that largely think that like the government or the entire leadership of Israel should, like, the whole like government should give itself up, and like the country of Israel should like dismantle itself. And it's like, dude, that's not a realistic expectation of what can happen, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that's a proper way of like viewing things. I don't know, it's all super tricky. And that's the thing though, is like, I don't think, if you ever like, I've watched all of Ethan and H3's content, they never act as though that Benjamin Netanyahu or Israel are like the heroes of everything. They don't act like they're the right side of history type stuff. Like, he's largely called Benjamin Netanyahu a genocide, provoker. It's so weird, but the fact that like there's people on the left that go crazy because Ethan and other Jewish people or Israel people, that's a different thing. Separating Jewish people from Israel and in their leadership. There's so many different like viewpoints to look at it, but it's like, I don't know. It's all tricky. I don't think it's entirely fair to, again, to put the blame on normal civilians and citizens when, a government, their leadership's going to do what it's going to do. Like, there's nothing they can do about that. Does that mean that, like, I don't know. Again, Ethan, it's ridiculous that people act as though he hasn't denounced Netanyahu. Like, he does it like all the time. Him and his wife have both called Netanyahu, baby killer and genocide provoker and all that good stuff. I don't get it. It's a very tricky situation, Skylar. Yes, it's, again, I know it's not the popular thing to fence sit, but like, it's not really fence sitting. Like, I 100% think Israel or Palestine, free Palestine and all that. Like, no one, like, that of course is a terrible situation, and of course Israel's government is performing genocide and killing, crazy amounts of people, but like, again, I think people can't separate the two, and that's why stuff like anti-Semitism is on the rise, because people can't separate the people from the government. Everyone assumes that, like, oh, you're Jewish, you must be ride or die for Netanyahu or whomever, and it's like no, man, that's not how things work. I don't know. That's my opinion. But yes, that's kind of where the anti-Semitism and a lot of the criticism comes from H3, is that you have, like, in my opinion, the crazy lefties attack, and I'm even a lefty to an extent, and it's like, but you have the crazy ones that are like attacking him when he's a lefty, and it's like come on, But yeah, we'll let him explain.
An atmosphere where someone like Bad Empanada is being platformed by people like Matt Lieb and Denims, who are friends with.
It looks like they're both in the video. Check the
And a lot of these people that are involved in this all are. That's the crazy thing, is a lot of them aren't like separated in terms of like connectivity. They're all connected to this one friend circle, this one group. And it's all like ties to Hassan Piker, who, again, Hassan Piker and H3 had their own podcast together, the Lefties podcast. So it all ties back to this one figure and Hassan Piker. And it spreads out to, again, this Matt Lieb, this Bad Empanada, Denims, now kind of involved. Now you'll see now involved is iDubbbz with these figures, along with his wife Anissa.
Description.
Oh my God! Like what? Like what? Why? What would I do to like fucking like?
Again, H3 is kind of showing it, but like a lot of those figures that have been attacking him are now in the description
by people like Matt Lieb and Denims.
And he has like in the description of his video.
Looks like they're both in the video. Check.
And like a lot of these people, you could make the argument. You don't know for sure, but if you don't know, H3 recently had CPS showed up to his house. If you don't know, CPS is Child Protective Services, and they showed up and they were like grilling him on like child neglect of his children and stuff, because there was some report that, because H3 on an episode had announced that he was joking that one of his dogs had some sickness in the stomach with poop or something, and then they were spreading this conspiracy theory that like, oh, his children, they must be taken away from him because H3 has poop everywhere. The kids could be.
Oh,
it's so
God.
odd.
Like what? Why? What would I do to like?
And these creators, where the argument is that they're largely at fault, is because they were like not like, you can control your chat. I refuse to believe a lot of these content creators who have mods, who are they do modding themselves. They're not willing to denounce anything that their chat is saying. Like, in my opinion, you can largely influence, because you're the creator, you're the person running the show. You can largely manage what is being said in your chats, and they were just like, especially the character Denims and what's the other guy's name? Denims, and I just said his name and I can't remember. I can't remember.
Like fucking, like what kind of fucking, like,
but
bro,
yeah.
what kind of
okay, I'll stop talking.
bullshit is this? Like, we have one disagreement.
Scarlet Twilight, it's so wild that they would go so far to get CPS involved. That is insane. Yeah, like, you can, and it's crazy that even if you are like the most dedicated Israel or Free Palestine's, even if you're like the staunchest supporter of each side, it's absolutely insane that the people that you would attack if you're a lefty or a righty would be another content creator. Like, even if you hated H3's guts, like, why would you propagate or at least allow your chats to, like, or you'll see.
Agreement where I get upset because you guys aren't defending me publicly after everything I've done to support you guys, and like you bring on people who are fucking Denims and Frogan who did a fucking anti-Semitic tier list, and you're platforming them and co-signing them. And by the way, to even make it even more crazy, Lena's fighting in your fight, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I actually can't believe that he did this. It's
Lena is his employee who's in the Creator Clash fight that or boxing matches that iDubbbz is running with his wife.
Unreal.
Pretty wild.
And it's just so pathetic too. Like, talk about a bandwagon. Like, bro, this is the edgy, cool content you're trying to make a play to like fucking warm up to. By the way, iDubbbz, Lena's fucking having a panic attack because why would you do this and not even tell her? Like, why would you invite someone on the show and do this? It's just fucking mean-spirited. I can't. I'm genuinely in disbelief.
His employee again, Lena. She's like, I guess she ran off to the bathroom because she was having an anxiety attack because it's like she and her husband were like also really good friends. I don't know if they are or were, but they're friends with Anissa and Ian too. So it's like it's so kind of ass backwards to have like people that you know that are running an event you're involved in, you know, attacking your boss. It's like, it's kind of, I don't think that's fair to them, like, at all. But
I am genuinely in disbelief. And by the way, I know all the criticism that all these people level against me, and there's no shot that this video holds any fucking water. I'll watch the whole thing. I don't give a fuck. Oh, and great, you got psychology in Seattle. I 10 out of 10 perfect apology.
This could be in jeopardy, dude.
This is actually...
Dude, the psychology in Seattle part is so funny, too, because he largely was like an innocent bystander in this. He just was like a guy who rated, he's a psychologist who rated apologies for content creators who are apologizing for, you know, the videos or wrongs that they had done. And he gave Ethan a great score, like an A+ score for his apology for the things that happened with, oh gosh, what's her name? Oh my gosh. I can't think of the content creator's name, the one that, oh my gosh, I'll look it up. I can't remember her name.
Could be in jeopardy.
This is actually fucking unbelievable. People were like, oh, he's doing a content cop. I was like, oh, okay. The best guess I heard was like, oh, maybe he's doing it on Kick. Maybe he's doing it on Kick. I said the C word. Bro,
wait, if you just hit the audio, it's more confusing.
What's her name?
Oh, whatever. They'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, I guess that one doesn't work. I hit the C. I said the C word, so I hit the audio.
I can't even think of
what
her husband's name. Oh my goodness, I'm terrible
bro.
tonight.
I mean, people that watch the show know how much like I've stood up for him during that whole time when like the entire internet was accusing Anissa of being like some succubus. And the amount that we went to bat for him, stuck our necks out for him, promoted both of his fucking boxing events, like with our whole chest.
Oh, QT Cinderella.
How is it that he's going to ally with someone like Dennis?
No, not
and
Trisha.
And Noah Sampson.
QT Cinderella was the person that he apologized to. Oh gosh, I guess I should show you that now, huh? No, I guess I won't. QT Cinderella she's oddly enough, she's connected to Hassan Piker. Her husband is best friends with him. I can't remember that guy's name, but they do content together. And she was crying and did a video or stream where she ended up suing somebody who was making deep fake content, like sexually explicit deep fake content of, you know, imposing her face onto someone's body, and sexual acts were being performed, and she like got super emotional and cried about it. And then on the podcast they were watching the video, and Zach, the audio guy, played something that it was really funny, but it was making fun of her a little bit. And again, I don't. I'm just a guy, but I personally felt she was being a little overly sensitive. I get it. It's essential. I guess it's a sensitive topic in general. So I don't know. Like, it's like I don't understand. I don't see. Like, I get her being sad and sensitive about it. Ultimately, I don't even know whatever happened to that lawsuit. I don't see what she could have done about it. I don't know. I look at it as like it's not really her. It's her face, which I guess I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I get it being sensitive about it. Obviously, people doing stuff with your likeness is crazy, but I don't know. To me, ultimately, I thought it was funny when they were talking about it in the moment. Now, again, because Ethan did feel bad about it, they did immediately do like an apology afterwards, which I definitely think was the right move. But yeah, that's what they're talking about with apology in Seattle. Is he gave wait, wasn't because they realized her friend bought deep fakes of her and stuff? It could have been. I don't want to act as though I remember every single aspect of that event. Yeah, I think you're right. That was an aspect of it, but didn't the friend buy it knowing it was her? Yeah. So again, it was some friend of hers that knowingly bought deepfake porn, basically, of her, and it's like, obviously, I don't think they're friends anymore. Probably post that, but I don't know. And again, I don't. I'm not gonna speak. I don't want to speak on her behalf. I didn't think it was that big a deal at the time. Again, they made a slight joke of it. Whatever. I didn't. I thought it was funny, but I definitely think it was warranted. Maybe their apology. So, but that's where apology or psychology in Seattle comes from. Is he has a channel where he grades apologies. He gave Ethan's like a perfect score apology, and that's why that guy's involved. That's all I'll say.
Noah Sampson, who says I'm.
Looks like he makes
I think it was her mod that was buying deep fakes, if my fish brain remembers, says Skylar. Veronica Rose says, oh yeah, they did, yeah. Went out of his way to take down the deep fakes and stuff. Oh, no, and I'll definitely reiterate, I definitely don't like that idea of people making deep fake porn from people's faces. I mean, like, I don't have a problem if, like, people want to ban that. I'm just saying, crying about it, I at the time I didn't see how that helped anything, but like, I don't know, it was just kind of a ridiculous. Again, I don't know. I don't know if I'm coming off as insensitive or not, but I personally just thought it was funny. I definitely think the apology was warranted, a good one, which I definitely think Ethan meant it, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'm insensitive towards it.
And Matt Lee.
Yeah.
How
the whole gang?
How
it's the whole gang?
I'm genuinely in shock. I cannot believe what a fucking.
Look at this face. I dare anyone to make deep fake porn with this face. That's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm making a joke.
Cowardly, bandwagony, shitty fucking move this is. I'm just in disbelief. I'm gonna watch it live.
Should you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. But like, why?
I just don't think. I feel like you're gonna get really emotional and say something you regret.
Well, I've got the button.
I mean,
it's kind of violating that a person who is their friend.
You don't have a problem taking it head on.
Wants to see you do those kind of acts.
Because I know that you
understand.
I 100% agree with you. Oh, it was the friend making. That's right. It was the friend making the deep fake porn. I could definitely. Forgive me. I totally forgot that was an aspect of it. It was her one of her mods or friends actually making the videos. I could see how you could be a little bit more violated by that versus it being a rando, on the internet. So again, I'm not acting as though her her displeasure and sadness because of it isn't warranted. Like, I definitely think, yeah, you're right, is violating, and I hopefully hope she, I hope she won her lawsuit. I don't know whatever happened with that. I also think it's fine. Ethan was laughing about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm fence sitting. I definitely think it's worth acknowledging her sorrow and also acknowledging that it's kind of a funny. I thought it was kind of funny. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm being insensitive. Yeah, and he spent a lot of money for all that.
Understandably upset, and I feel like it might be a little.
That's kind of a crazy thing to do, though, right? Now that I'm thinking about it, buying or making deepfake porn of a friend of yours, isn't that kind of a crazy thing to do? I mean, that's kind of wacko stuff, right? That's very odd. Especially when if they knew her, they probably knew her husband, who, what's his name? It's like with an L. I can't remember his Lexo. Oh gosh, I can't remember his YouTube. What? QT Cinderella husband. Why can't I remember his name? I'm so like, I don't know any husband. Ludwig. There we go. All right, yeah. Ludwig was the guy I was thinking of. He's another content creator involved in that whole. I don't even remember where I was going with that.
Show, like, I don't need to fucking pre-watch this. I don't need someone else to hold my hand through it. Like, I'm ready to take on anything that these people have to say about me. I'm just
fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know. That was kind of funny watching it live. I was all up in there, taking it all in. I was in the trenches checking it out.
Inclined. Like, if you know anything about the history of the series, iDubbbz and Ethan, there's literally zero chance laughing my ass off. This then got screenshotted and posted by the account Poorly Aged Things after it was revealed that the content cop was indeed on Ethan. And then Wavy responds with this gif. He also reacts to the content cop coming out by showing this picture of Ethan and iDubbbz together and the caption, "Bro was plotting for years." Matt responds to the teaser video with one of his own in the caption, "iDubbbz content cop in big 2025.
Showtime.
And another thing I was reading, or I watched in a video, but I thought it was fascinating, was someone had brought up the idea that, like, iDubbbz creatively is so bankrupt and so dumb creatively. I don't mean to, insult him, but, like, it's so, the idea is dumb, not him. The idea is so terrible that he had it perfectly lined up. The fact that he took such a long break and legitimately calls out and hates his old content cop content. He hates it. He says it was mean-spirited. It was not, shouldn't have been made. It was not for human consumption. He just says all of these terrible things about the old content. Fine. So he hates it so much that he turns around and makes a new video on one of his best friends? Isn't that so ass backwards? It's like, I hate this. I'm not making this anymore. This is garbage. Oh, but I'm going to make one on my buddy over here. You know what I mean? It's so like, and like, I read someone who made the argument that, like, what could have been a great idea, what really should have happened with iDubbbz, is if he hated the content so much and he regretted it so much, what he should have done is he should have made his final content cop on himself. Would that not have been a perfect closure to the content cop era and to his former self? Where he could, like, make a content cop video ripping on himself, his past, all of his past events, past things that he regrets. That would have been a perfect closing ceremony for, like, his previous self. It's crazy he didn't think about that. Instead, he says he hates it, but he makes a new one on his best friend. It's It's like, so did you not hate the content cops? So you hate content cops so much, you pull all the videos down, but then you make a new one for your channel ripping on a buddy of yours? Like, I'm telling you, the guy is... I'm not a freaking therapist, but like he's got all sorts of stuff going on. That's why I said I remember that happened. I didn't do it, but when it comes to AI deepfakes or whatever, they cost money. I don't know how much, but that was the last time I was gonna search something like that. I wouldn't know the first thing of how any of that works. Again, like I definitely think it was fair for QT to be upset and everything. Like, I don't want to act as though I think it's fair to her to be upset. It's not as though H3 or Ethan is like a friend of hers, so he just thought it was funny and they were laughing about it. Like, I don't know, whatever. Veronica Rose says, heck, it could have been his atonement, a way to break free and let that guilt rest in peace. Exactly. If he would have made his final one, he said, all right, I hate this content, but I'm going to make one more, and it's going to be me tearing myself down and letting everyone know that this is not okay and that, you know, it was perfectly lined up. Instead, he's for some reason got the idea to attack his friend of like 10 years. I don't know. It's all fascinating.
I can't come to dinner. I got the red. I gotta go. Maybe just a salad and yeah. Oh, some rice cakes.
Come on.
And then the video came out, and people started reacting to it on Twitter. Like Kyoga's Top Gal, who says, "The content cop is on Ethan Klein, laughing my ass off." Denim says, "Wake up, Ethan!" with a picture of her, Brogan, Sean.
This crap was so cringy, all of them being in the same room. And another weird aspect of this, to me, Veronica Rose says, to me, what it feels like is a resentment that broke him to do it. A resentment towards a friend of his? Yeah, that's the crazy thing, is like, it does come off as like he is super envious and super resentful to H3 and his wife for something. And I to me, the only thing that makes sense is it's got to be success. He's got to be upset that his viewership is down. He's not in the same place popularity and celebrity wise, but it's one of those things though where it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where, like, again, he's pointing all of his anger and blame and animosity for his status with YouTube and as a content creator, and he's pointing it at H3 and Ethan. He's got to have somewhere to vent and to point his frustration. But bro, your popularity is down because you're not the same person. Like, you can be a better person and you're in a better place. Sure, people like me as a former fan or former viewer, bravo. Like, I'm really happy that you're in a better place and you're a better person. But just because of that fact, that doesn't mean I'm interested in continuing to watch your content. You know what I mean? It's that type of, like, there's no self-reflection. Like, are you a better person? Yes. Is your content more or less, is more interesting? It's not. Like, I'm not watching, like, he's burned so many bridges with his fans at this point. Like, he burned the bridge with the old fans because he hated things, and now he's burning bridges with fans of his friends who like H3 and stuff. That they're a large segment of people that are still watching you because you're still associated with them, and now you're burning the bridge over here with these people, and it's like where do you get what I'm saying? I'm saying as a realist, as someone who looks at numbers, it's like, where exactly is iDubbbz expecting to gain popularity? Like, who? I don't know. almost like you can't fix what's already broken or something like that, says Skylar. I just think his self-awareness is comically low. He has almost no self-awareness of like his role, you know, here, his status now. It clearly isn't what it was. And again, I think it's fine if he were to understand that, like, I'm a better person. I like where I'm at. Are my views and is my status going to deteriorate? Yes, it's deteriorating, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'd much rather be a better person. But he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. He's trying to say, no, I'm a better person than I am. I've changed. I'm a good guy. And that is like changed my personality in a way. Oh, wait, why isn't anyone watching me? Why am I not popular anymore? And it's like, bro, like, you can't have it both ways. As a content creator, I truly feel like, depending on the content, obviously, and depending on the person, I'm sure it's different, but like, people like, that's the one thing I will say that I've appreciated about YouTube, that I've noticed about people that, like, a lot of you that are watching this, people like consistency. That's why, like, I've noticed ever since I started setting up a schedule with when you guys can watch me, my viewership has gone up. My personality, I don't feel like my personality has ever really changed. I feel like I'm mostly the same person since I started. It's only been 3 or 4 years, but I don't anticipate changing, really. I guess that it's easy for anyone to say, but like, I'm very comfortable and happy with who I am and where I'm at. Like, I don't know. I feel like you guys know me at this point, but yeah, at this point, who is he catered for? That's exactly my point, is like, he's almost like setting himself up and catering himself to gain the fans of people like Frogan. Where's my hand? Like a Frogan or a Denims or a Shonda Black in the back. It's like he's setting himself up for their fans, but the problem is like, you've got to be careful with the fans with the people that you cater towards, especially when you get into politics, because there's a lot of people that will only support you because of your view and your the thing you advocate for. They're not really in it for you. They're not really in it for your content. So I think that's what Scarlet Twilight said. True, not like everyone isn't going to stick around since almost majority have moved on. Yeah. And I think that's what iDubbbz is going to quickly learn, is like, he made this one video. He got probably a good amount of views, but I think he's quickly going to learn that, unfortunately, again, I'm not like hoping this happens, but like, I think he's going to learn that a lot of these people that he's trying to draw in, they're not going to stick around for him. Because again, it's not... People didn't watch the old iDubbbz for his politics and for his opinion on things. People watched old iDubbbz because he was crazy and he was charismatic. That'll take you a long ways in the form of content and entertainment. And that's what he had before. He was super charismatic, unpredictable, just said whatever was on his mind. And that, like, is that the person you want to be around 24/7? No, unfortunately not. Like, that is not a realistic person that anyone wants to be around, right? Like that's probably a very unhealthy personality to have as a friend. I admit that. But in terms of a content creator, that is perfect. That is perfect as a content creator, because a lot of that is what H3 and Ethan Klein is. He is unpredictable. He is charismatic. He's funny. You don't know what he's going to say and what he's going to do. And that, like, me as a fan, as a viewer, I want it both ways. I want you to be all of that stuff, but I also want you to be a good person. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a very tricky slope to, like, be charismatic, be unpredictable, say crazy stuff. But, like, unfortunately, like, that's just like the tightrope you got to walk as an entertainer. You've got to be all that. I don't even know if I'd say I fit into any of that. I feel like I'm fairly predictable. Maybe I need to get crazy. No, I'm kidding. But you know, and I feel like iDubbbz just doesn't understand that. He went too far the therapist, I don't want to say therapist route. He went too far in the empathy route where he just thinks being a changed person should automatically mean people want to watch him. And that's not the case, man. That's just not. Like people want to watch who they find entertaining. You know, it's not always about I'm just going to watch whoever I think is the best person, you know. That's not how the world works. You know what I mean? Which that's the total opposite side of like someone like Hassan Piker, who, like, even I'll admit, Hassan Piker is someone who views himself in a lot of those same routes as iDubbbz. He views himself as being, you know, wants to be known as a good person and has all of those traits. But Hassan understands and is smart enough to understand that, like, I gotta be crazy, I gotta be unpredictable. People want to hear random things, and you know, Hassan's the guy known for saying the U.S. deserved 9/11. You know, he just says whatever comes to mind, and I don't know. I'm ranting.
And the content cop himself. Ugopnik quote tweets her and says he might actually kill himself. Marxist Riot says Ethan Klein is currently living through his worst nightmare, and that brings me at least some joy. Cayuga's Top Gal reacts to the image.
All right, I'm gonna click off of Bo Blacks. I was kind of hoping Bo Blacks would delve deeper into some of this stuff. Well, I'll keep watching. It kind of feels like he's just looking at comments.
Legendary. The Surfs quote tweets Denims and says, there's going to be so many Instagram stories. Dan quote tweets Denims with this image of Ethan with his two oldest sons, and their mother Ela with the caption, meanwhile, Ethan. Yeet says, ain't no way iDubbbz actually did his content cop on Ethan Klein. Ken says, the iDubbbz content cop is on Ethan Klein? Devil J. Cry says, iDubbbz bringing back content cop could be seen as cringe, except it's about Ethan Klein. And that's fucking hilarious and allowed. Your Loyal Dingus says, wait, you're telling me iDubbbz brought content cop back just to shit on Ethan Klein? I used to pray for times like this. Sussy says, the content cop was on H3, oh my god! Froggy Tonic reacts to Hassan streaming a reaction to the iDubbbz content cop on Ethan Klein, and captions it by saying, wait, shut the fuck up, laughing my ass off! Alright, I'm catching up on a delay. We are so fucking back. He then tweets out an image of the video and captions it by saying...
And that is the thing that, again, is unfortunate, is like, you know for a fact all of these people that are freaking out, like a Froggy Tonic talking about, Content Cop's back, yo, iDubbbz, yo, he's back. It's like, bro, I am 99% sure Froggy Tonic has never seen a Content Cop video before. That's what I'm saying about, like, you know, delving deeper into the political realm. You're delving into a group that will support you if you have the exact same viewpoint as them, which that's not fun. Like, there's people on YouTube that I watch that I don't share all of their same political opinions and views on. And I feel like that's the realm that iDubbbz is venturing into, is, you know, he's venturing into the side of the internet where it's like, we'll support you as long as you do what we want. You know what I mean? And that is not, in my opinion, that doesn't seem like a fun place to be. Maybe that's what he wants. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the political side of it's tricky. Yeah, that's what Twitter versus whatever currently trending says, Veronica. I don't know, Threads maybe or something.
I haven't watched Ethan Klein in quite a few years. Why is he on iDubbbz Content Cop? Didn't he start a podcast with Hassan or something? I hope he's doing okay. He has kids to take care of. Somebody should check on him. Oh fuck, I hadn't seen the duration, laughing my ass off.
Oh my gosh, did you guys see that?
Too, lol. Doubling down, saying Ian has no...
Ew, it had a big old ant in there. Ew. Have I ever had ants? I have ants over here right now? That was funny. I was like, what was that in my mouth? Gross. I think it was a flying ant in my coffee. I had it like right on my lip. I'm sorry. That was weird. Let me rewind that. I kind of want to see what the heck that was. Oh, there it was. That was so weird. I don't know. I thought that was funny. I was like a big old ant, like right on my lip. I'm like, what the heck is that? Do you like your coffee and flavored, said Skylar.
No jokes. Time
No, I
dilation
don't.
bigger than Hassan even. His kidneys are gonna.
That's
work
why I was
extra
worried.
tonight.
I'm like,
Ethan
I
was
almost never
streaming when
have
the content
ants.
cop was uploaded, and JJ Alejandro posted this clip of his immediate reaction.
What happened? There's more bad news?
I do have some more bad news for you. Some breaking news. Your old friend
That's
iDubbbz
gross.
just released a video.
Yeah.
It's about you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god. That is the no, it can't be.
Well, now that's on my channel forever. Me choking on an ant. Great.
Oh.
It actually can't be. Holy fuck, dude.
It sure is.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, I won't pull an iDubbbz and remove that.
Holy fuck.
I'll let that stay.
From a quick scrub through, I think, well, it's going to be a little spicy.
Let's watch it. I mean, so like the thing is like this guy went from
All right, so we did see this.
Fucking having
Who reacted to this on Twitter is.
All right, so again, I'm not gonna. I think he's just recapping what I've already seen. Let's see. Is there any other viewpoint or vantage that I want to see this from? I think that's basically everything. Let me do one more recap. Is there anybody else that's talking about this that I want to know their opinion on? Oh, all right. Let's check out Gokunaru. I kind of want to see what Gokunaru's opinion is here.
Video, when I clicked it, first thing he said, if the content cop is on Ethan, I'll literally eat a shoe on stream.
To be fair to him, I was that confident.
People who don't know what the fuck they're talking about are claiming that iDubbbz is going to be making a content cop on Ethan Klein. Delusion. Not happening. If that happens...
If you don't know, I'm not going to act as though I know a bunch about Gokunaru. Oh, shoot, I don't have the video up. I'm not going to act like I'm a Gokunaru fan or I know anything about him. He... And a small way is tied to the H3 universe because back in the day he did a takedown video himself of H3 and it wasn't the best try, and they ripped into him and made fun of him and stuff. And
I will eat a shoe.
That was a long time ago though. That was like probably 4 or 5 years ago at this point.
I've made continual laughs in my judgment. Warning, this product may contain chemicals, cause cancer.
Now I feel like I got something stuck in my throat.
Ended up going with the option of completely and utterly alienating his, public friend, I guess you could say, H3 Productions. I want to explain to you the reason as to why I did not predict this outcome, okay? Now, I did acknowledge that it was a possibility privately, okay? Publicly, I did make a spectacle of being like, it is not happening. But I knew there was a % chance it could happen, okay? I'm not actually, a believer that this was impossible. But I ran the numbers. I'm a scientist, for those who don't know. I am trained in the art of statistical analysis.
Veronica Rose said, yeah, more ants. No, no more ants. No more ants. Let them be gone. Maybe I'll need to spray in here. Need to spray my game room. We gotta make sure these things die. They die and go to heck.
Specifically in relation to probability. And I ran the damn numbers. And guess what I did immediately after I ran the numbers? I flew to fucking Vegas, okay? I flew to Las Vegas, and I placed the money that was supposed to go on the down payment for my home. I placed all of it against iDubbbz making a content cop on H3 Productions. So eating this shoe, in a lot of ways, is actually the least bad outcome for me. The worst outcome is that I am now...
Gokunaru, something small. It's very much bothering me, though, that his camera is... I don't know why he's not centered. Granted, I'm not centered, but that's because I don't want to be blocking him. He's not centered because I don't know why.
And maybe going to be homeless.
He's way off to the right.
Shout out to Asmongold.
He's got his chat. I don't know. I don't like his setup.
You trying to make me stop eating shoe? You gotta wake up if you think I'm not gonna eat this damn shoe. Okay? You gotta wake the fuck. Oh, there's a lot of sandal to go. I probably should have gotten a kid's sandal or something. So, Let me explain to you why I did not predict this, okay? And there's many reasons. And I want to make it clear that if you look at H3H3's own damn reaction, he was in the exact same boat as me. He seemed to have 100% confidence that this new iDubbbz content cop would not be on himself. And I genuinely think this outcome was extremely unpredictable. Here are the reasons why. Number one, time horizon, which I did clarify. I did not think, because you need to look at the numbers, okay? Look at the numbers, Mason. iDubbbz uploaded a fucking video, a decently edited, produced video 3 weeks ago, okay? And all I'm thinking in my head is, okay, so he broke off the friendship with H3H3 Productions. Or sorry, H3 broke off the friendship about 4 or 5 weeks ago, give or take, okay? And iDubbbz finishes this video 3 weeks ago. He uploads it. Surely that is not enough time for him to pump out a fucking content cop, a series that has been dead for so long that surely he would want it to be some epic grand event, right? Well, I was wrong in that analysis, clearly. iDubbbz put the fucking pedal to the metal and pumped out a content cop, an hour-long content cop, the longest content cop ever, in a very short time horizon. Number two reason why I did not think this was truly possible, okay? I thought that people were cooked. I thought they were fucking idiots if they thought this was the case. It is because, you need to understand, right? Yum. It's because our boy, he has Lena, right? Our boy, AB, Starkiller, okay, who I stand by. This
What? Gokunaru is on H3 side nowadays? I'm shocked. Gokunaru is on H3 side and he's a fan of people on the H3 podcast? What? Dude. The world is... That made me think of the world is a vampire. No, the world is a crazy place, man. That Gokunaru, who had his video ripped to shreds by H3 and tried to make a takedown video of him, now kind of a fan of H3, and iDubbbz, the former 10-year fan of, or best friends of H3, is now making content cops again based on H3. The world is insane, man. This, sometimes you think you can like predict what is going to happen next. If people feel like they can read the future, and I don't think that's possible. There's no way you could have predicted this stuff like years ago. It's like predicting who's going to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't try. Well, maybe you got a better chance of that. It's like predicting who's going to win the NCAA tournament. I don't know, something less easy to predict. Veronica Rose says character arcs? Yes, there's so many character arcs. It almost makes me wonder about myself. Like, I'm fairly confident I'm the person I am always going to be. Is that the case? Through self-reflection, could I be a different person years from now? Don't know. Tune in on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy to have all the flip-flops. I don't know. I like being me, though. That's the one thing I'll hold to, is like... That's part of the problem with iDubbbz, is like one of the downfalls of his personality is... learning more about him, you definitely get the sense that he never has liked who he was. And I don't necessarily feel as though that's changed. I still feel like there are aspects of him that dislike some of his... I mean, clearly, emotionally, he's all over the place. I don't know. I like being me, though.
Definitely sucks.
I like, for the most part. There are aspects... Yeah, everyone's got their one or two things, and I feel like I'm in that same boat. There's one or two things, if I could shift it around, I probably would, but... What can you do? You know what I mean?
But the reason in my head, right, is I'm thinking in my frame, okay, iDubbbz is a pretty rational individual. He's like, I guess, an empathy unlocked type guy, so he's very, cognizant of how his behavior will affect others, especially, I imagine, those around him. All I'm thinking is, Lena, AB's wife, right, she is fighting in Creator Clash, and that is coming up. It doesn't make sense in my head that iDubbbz would attack H3H3, who is employed by Ethan Klein, right? He did it anyway. He did it anyway. And that is, in my head, a very rational calculation, okay? Number three, and this is a big reason that I think a lot of people kind of ignore. This is about Israel and Palestine, okay? That's what you need to understand. This entire drama is in the backdrop of Israel and Palestine. iDubbbz is a guy who unlocked empathy later in life, right? I think like age 30 or something like that. He didn't unlock high-level political analysis, from what I'm aware. He has not really tried that hard to transition, especially into foreign politics, okay? And so in my head, all I'm thinking is that there's no shot this guy has either the...
Goku has a great point here, though, that it's so baffling that, like, iDubbbz, even at his peak, when he was doing all the... when he was killing it, you know, back in the day, he never delved into politics. That never was a thing with him. So the fact that, like, you would start doing it when you're at a low point in your career is just like... Could it be desperation? I hate to say it, you know, about somebody, but, you know, trying something new when that seems, again, that seems like the wrong thing to do when you're at your low point, is to go with, you know, try something like getting into political stuff when you've never done it. That's part of the problem that most people don't realize, I feel like, about life in the world, is like, people always feel like it can never get worse. It can get a lot worse. I know a lot of people think like, oh, he probably thinks, oh, I'm at my low point, and you know, I got to try something new. I don't like Ethan now anyways. Let's try and go the political route. But it's like, bro, you're not like nobody as iDubbbz. Like you still have a name as a creator. Like no matter how far he's fallen, in my opinion, iDubbbz, you still have the name iDubbbz. You still have some name recognition. I 100% think that you can fall farther down. I hope it's not desperation and he's like, well, I'm at a low point, I gotta try. It's like, no, dude, you can make things worse for yourself. I don't know.
The hubris, or maybe the legitimate awareness to tackle a topic such as Ethan Klein or H3H3, which is now just undeniably interlinked with the debate, I guess you could say, on Israel and Palestine, right? I did not think that it was possible to try and attack H3H3 without doing some like higher level analysis of how H3H3 promotes Hezbollah, or how he fucking, you know, is incorrect in some of his takes, which, by the way, he is. There's a decent amount of takes that H3 has that are incorrect. And I was thinking in my head when I first saw the notification, bro, I thought in my head, Ethan Klein, who, when he made his content nuke, in my head, that was my biggest immediate fucking thing that I was praying, okay? You need to understand. I have been very, very worried and skeptical of H3H3 approaching the conflict and kind of turning it into drama,
All right, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to call it there. I'm pretty happy with... I was just kind of curious to see where Goku was going to go with some of these things. I don't really... Again, I don't want to, like, wrap up my thoughts on all this. I'm sure maybe we'll touch on the H3 iDubbbz stuff a little bit more, because there's still a lot of interesting things that are going to come out of this. Like, I still want to know more. Like, this whole saga is not over whatsoever. I know H3 is he's getting ready to sue one of those creators, a guy named Noah Sampson. He's getting ready to sue one of them for defamation, so the floodgates are just about opening up, you know, for whatever the heck they got going on over there. So this whole thing's not over. Maybe next week, if there's more events, we'll talk about them. But yeah, again, crazy stuff. Sorry about the Star Wars celebration stuff was so lackluster, but I got to talk about The Last of Us a little bit. We saw a couple trailers. I got to go in deep on iDubbbz and H3, huh? That was something. So real quick, does anybody else have anything they'd like? Anything else major that's happened recently? No. Let me scrub through the YouTubes, see if anything else pops up real quick. Maybe I'll just call it here. I'm pretty tired. Let's see, what do we got here? We got some people talking about the Oblivion stuff. We'll touch on that maybe. I gotta figure out when I can watch that event. The Pope died. That's something. No, I'm not gonna talk about the Pope. Let's see. Just blasting through. Alright, still looking. Still looking. I don't see much. All good, Chess, Skylar. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, again, I do want to react to that event tomorrow, the Oblivion one. I'll have to see when I can make some time to watch that. I definitely want to see what's going on there. Alright, anyways, I think I'm all good. I'm kind of looking and I'm not seeing anything super important pop up, so... real quick, let's give a shout out to everyone in chat today. This was a fun... I know... I know it's you know, I don't just meet, you know, just saying it, but I'm enjoying these ChazmaN lives. These are fun. Again, the first one was a little rough. I definitely think I could have started that one off a little better, but I definitely like this more personal little time I get with you guys where we can kind of look into some stuff I'm interested in. This was these are fun. I'm enjoying these so far. So let's see. So we got Veronica Rose and Skylar Twilight in chat. Thank you so much. We had P1 Up 93 and Odin is Salty. We had Delectable Toast. Thank you so much, Delectable. We had Amy Lee. Thank you so much, Amy Lee, for joining. We had Johan Pena. Thank you so much, Johan. Let's see. Who else? I feel like that was everybody. Yeah, I think that's all I got for now. That was fun. So thank you so much for joining, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow night we will be starting Sonic Heroes. Tune in probably about same time, 5:30, 6, somewhere, 5:30 p.m., 6 p.m., somewhere around there we'll start. I did change last second. I was going to play the PS2 version, and after doing a little bit of research, I think it turns out the GameCube version runs better, and luckily I do have the GameCube version, so yeah, we're going to... I was gonna say Pack God Discord CP server allegations that are going on. Oh, CP, but I guess we could save that for another. Yeah, maybe we're already at 2 hours, but you don't want us to go out on a down note talking about CP, right? That's such a bummer way to go out. that sounds super depressing. Maybe yeah, we'll save that for another stream maybe. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, like I said, I think we're gonna play the GameCube version of Sonic Heroes. So I don't know. I wanted to play the PS2, but I just read that the GameCube version runs slightly better. And like I said, luckily I have that, so we'll play that. So that'll be tomorrow. All right, real quick, shout out to the Patreon backers: BioCrash, Electropirate, Skylar Twilight, Tim, and Phantom Fox. I need to go back through because I think someone's getting away with a shout out in the Patreon. I have 5 names there, and there's only 4 now on the Patreon. So someone backed out of there. I got to figure out who. Get rid of that name. Yeah. Shout out to the social medias if you guys want to see me there. Got the Patreon if you want to support again financially, monetarily, I should say. That sounded bad. That sounded greedy, ChazmaN. Just saying financially, monetarily. There you go. And then we got the Discord there if you want to be a part of the conversation. Hope the controls aren't too wonky for Sonic. Oh, I bet you they're gonna be wonky. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I got to say. Do a call out post joking. No, I'm not calling anyone out. But yeah, anyways, just want to say today was Joseph Skylar. I agree. Again, I'm having fun with these. If I wasn't having fun, I probably wouldn't keep doing them, but I'm having a good time. And these are also really easy for me to like cut up and turn into content. So it's all about the content, right? All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I love you. See you guys tomorrow for Sonic Heroes. Nighty night.